Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Straight Fire Picks. Best bets for college football, Week 10, on Saturday, November 6th, 2021. My name is Steve, and we're going to have three picks here for you today that I think are great value bets for the Saturday college football slate. As always, just want to thank you all for your continued support in the channel. If you are new to the channel here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We're trying to reach 850 subscribers here by the end of the week. Also, be sure to check out our community Discord page. It's a great place to connect with our community, to get new ideas for bets and just to chat about sports. I'll have a link in the comment section and in the description as well, where you can check that out. Also, be sure to place your favorite pick down below for this week in the comment section. If you'd like it included in our comment capper section, just put a star or an asterisk next to your pick, and you'll get a call out in the video if your pick hits. Without further ado, let's get right into our results here from week number 9. So for our comment capper section, we had the Magic Man calling the first half under in the Maryland-Indiana game. That was under 25, was able to cash that. So great hit there for the Magic Man. As far as the stream results, we went 2-1. It was a winning week. We had Michigan State covering a plus 4.5 spread versus Michigan. Was able to cash this. Michigan State actually won, which is honestly what I thought would happen. And we also had Purdue covering a 7.5 spread, plus 7.5 spread versus Nebraska, and they won that game outright as well. And then we had the under in the Colorado-Oregon game, and I'm telling you, that one was way off. There was like 80 points scored. But what can you do? We're going to get after it this week, guys. We're going to get that 3-0. So getting right into our picks, at number 1, we are going with the Air Force Falcons minus 2.5 spread here versus the Army Black Knights at minus 118 odds. So Air Force here led by quarterback Zeke Daniels, leading this nation best rushing attack here. Number 1 in rushing at 318.4 yards per game. That's just about all you need. Now, Army does come in here as number 2 in rushing. Obviously, same type of thing. 312 yards per game for Army there. So, not really an edge there on the offensive side. Where Air Force, I think, has the edge in this game is on the defensive side. Air Force ranks 7th in scoring defense and 3rd in total defense, while Army ranks 79th in scoring defense and 30th in total defense. So, obviously overall there, I think Air Force does have an edge. Now, of course, the numbers are a little skewed after last week where Army gave up 70 points there to Wake Forest, and Wake Forest is a very high-powered offensive team, so I do understand that. But still, I'd have to give the edge here to Air Force overall. I mean, they're so far has been one of the nation's best defenses statistically. Neutral site game here coming in, so no home field advantage for either side. Army is coming in struggling a bit. They've lost 3 games in a row. Air Force coming in has won 4 out of 5. I'd say as far as the competition goes, it's very similar. If you look up and down their schedules, you can things kind of balance out in their schedules. Army played and lost to Ball State. Also had to play Wisconsin. Air Force plays there in the Mountain West, where they had to play Boise State, Wyoming, and San Diego State, who's ranked. So, I think overall the schedules, just from looking at it, are roughly even. Of course, the Wisconsin game, you'd have to give Army a little bit of credit for that. They kind of hung tough there with Wisconsin. Overall, in this series, Air Force has dominated it. Historically, they're 37-17 and 1 all-time versus Army. Coming off a 10-7 loss last year, though, versus Army. So I think they're going to want to get that back. There's going to be a little bit more motivation here for Air Force to get that win here. How they typically do against Army. Overall, Air Force in the last 5 games is 4-1 against the spread. 23-8 in the last 31 non-conference games against the spread. And this is a non-conference game here. Just coming in, I like the edges here that Air Force has defensively in particular. They got their quarterback, Zeke Daniels, here back healthy. To get injured a little bit last week, but he's expected to play this week, and he's supposed to be back healthy and ready to go. So I do like that. As far as offensively, these teams compare very well. Like I said, they compare, number 1, number 2 in rushing, just about the same. Technically, the Army scoring offense ranks 30th. And the Air Force ranks 67th. But as far as yardage goes, 70th for Air Force, 68th for Army. So very comparable there. I think, the edge that Air Force has there is on the defensive side of the ball. So take it there for your number one pick. Air Force minus 2.5 spread here versus Army at minus 118 odds. Okay, and at number 2, we are going with the under 65.5 points in the Ohio State-Nebraska game at minus 106 odds. So yeah, I'm taking a stab at an under here that can be a little scary to a lot of people. Ohio State coming in as the top-ranked offense in all the land, so that is obviously a little bit terrifying. But I will say this. Ohio State also has a solid defense. And in Nebraska games so far, this particular under is 9-0 in Nebraska games. I also got to keep in mind, Nebraska has played against 3 top 30 offenses already this season, yielding 23, 23, and 32 in those matchups. So if they do something like that again this game, I think we easily cash the under. They don't even have to do quite that good, I think. I think even if we scored in the upper 30s, I'd still feel pretty good about the under coming in. Because I think Nebraska's going to get beat. They'll get beat by a decent little margin. I don't see Nebraska scoring many points on Ohio State. I think that's where the problem's going to be. On the season, Ohio State is actually 20th in scoring defense, so their defense kind of has been complementing their offense lately. Nebraska is 26th in scoring defense, so 2 pretty solid defenses overall. And believe it or not, this particular under is 5-3 in Ohio State games as well. So it's not as scary as it comes across on the surface. When you look at it, you're like, I don't want to take an under in an Ohio State game. I've already done it this year and cashed. Did it against... Oregon. They were playing Oregon, and the game really shouldn't have even been close. It ended up getting a little bit close at the end, but overall, it started just the way I wanted. I mean, it was like, it was very low, more low scoring in the first half, and I wasn't that afraid till the second half happened. Then some stuff happened. We still ended up cashing that, and I'm fine running it here again because this over/under, like I said, is just a little bit too high for 2 defenses that play solid. I envision this game going down like the Ohio State-Penn State game went, where there was about 57 points scored. I could see this game being played in the 50s. I don't think, Ohio State is going to drub Nebraska, as far as offensively and put up like 60. I don't quite see that happening. You never know. I mean, Ohio State's very talented, and, they are hard to bet against as far as over-unders, but I do like this under in particular here. Like I said, I'm not afraid of Nebraska. They're 58th in scoring offense, which isn't bad, but, it's not anything that worries me really too much. As far as time of possession, which is something you look for on an over-under, you want a team with high time of possession that runs, a lower amount of plays. Nebraska is 45th in time of possession, so that's solid. They're not the most up-tempo team, even though under Scott Frost you think they would be. Not as much this year yet, anyway. They rank 78th in plays run per game. So, it's slightly worse than it's the back end, slightly worse than middle of the pack. Ohio State 95th in plays run per game, but, that one's not really relevant because they have a big play offense. So, that's sometimes why you could be scared of this. But overall, I like the research. I like the data behind this one. Take it there for your number 2 pick, under 65.5 points. In the Ohio State-Nebraska game at minus 106 odds. Okay, and finally at number 3, we're going with Michigan State minus 2.5 spread here versus the Purdue Boilermakers at minus 122 odds. So we got 2 of my favorite teams to bet on. I am a big fan of betting on Purdue so far this season and Michigan State. They've both been extremely profitable. In this game, though, Michigan State has a huge edge. They have a man by the name of Kenneth Walker III, and he is... in my opinion, he should be in the running for the Heisman. He's been absolutely sensational. If you saw what he did against Michigan last week, you'd be nodding your head with me. He has been absolutely phenomenal this year, and no reason why he shouldn't be in the MVP and the Heisman race. Working with an offense that also has quarterback Peyton Thorne, very efficient offensively. He really had a nice comeback game last week. Started the game really slow and really led his team. I was really pleased with how Peyton Thorne and Kenneth Walker both performed. It was very nice to see. Jaden Reed also very explosive at the wide receiver position here for Michigan State. You're talking about Walker and Reed here, the skill position players, ranking 6th for Kenneth Walker, 15th for Jaden Reed here in yards per game in all of college football. You think of how impressive that is, that 2 guys, in the top 15 in all of college football out of 130 teams. That's very impressive. they're very explosive, obviously, so I love that. Overall, as far as defensively, I think these two teams compare. Purdue, I would give the edge to defensively for sure. Michigan State ranking 29th in defense, in scoring defense so far on the year. Purdue 11th, so obviously Purdue with a slight edge there. However, I've seen Purdue get gashed in the running game. Particularly a couple weeks ago, I really saw Purdue get absolutely obliterated by the Wisconsin running game. So they better be ready for Michigan State because Kenneth Walker's one of the best to do it at the running back position. So I think that should definitely scare Purdue, and I think that's where the hay will be made in this game. As far as on offense, though, Michigan State, Purdue, it's not even a conversation. Michigan State is far superior. 29th in scoring offense versus Purdue's 103rd scoring offense. If you watch Purdue play offense, it's not great. They have to rely on, pretty much one guy by the name of wide receiver David Bell. He's very talented. He's very good. But that's about it. Anybody else on Purdue, you can't really trust. Their quarterbacks, they play like 2-3 different quarterbacks. It's just not a great situation. So that's the reasons why I really love Michigan State here. So take it there for your number 3 pick. Michigan State minus 2.5 spread here versus the Purdue Boilermakers at minus 122 odds. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for our picks. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We're trying to grow to 850 subscribers here by the end of the week, so I appreciate your help out with that. Other than that, that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you back for the next episode. Peace out.